Das folgende Video wird euch präsentiert von IntelliAd, der Performance-Marketing-Plattform.
Thank you so much. Great to be here. My apologies that I don't speak German. It's a problem that Americans have. They only speak one language. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Buzzfeed, but I'm also going to tell you about how we think about the world. And gives hopefully some practical examples of things that you can use in your businesses and your work. So Buzzfeed is a site with, we're over 150 million unique visitors now. We get 75% of that traffic from social, meaning Facebook, Twitter, email, Pinterest, WhatsApp. We have about half of our traffic is people who are 18 to 34. And more than half of our traffic is mobile. I'm going to share a few examples of the kinds of things that people share. One thing is to have a heart. So people often get very stuck in their own head and they think social media is about integrating with APIs and this trick and that trick. This is a story on Buzzfeed that was posted by a community member, got millions of views, about a soldier who went to Afghanistan, came back and his injured, and his fiance nursed him to health, and there's photos of their wedding. It's a touching, moving, painful human story that people share, and a real, and I think one of the things that I like to point out is that there's not tricks. A moving, compelling, important human story is something that people love to share or will want to share. Content is also about identity. So. If any of you are left-handed, you'll recognize what this is. Lefties have to write over the ink on the paper, and so they get ink on their hands. And we did a post about challenges of being left-handed, all of the annoying things that lefties have to deal with. Now, you would think that that would not be a very popular post because only 10% of people are left-handed. It turns out it was shared all over the place, over millions of views. And the reason was that left-handed people would share it because it was part of their identity. So if you were left-handed and you saw this post, you would share it to Facebook and your friends would learn something about you. The content was good, but it was also a way for you to express your identity and communicate who you are to your friends. And I think that sometimes people make the mistake when they're doing marketing of creating a broad campaign that they hope will appeal to everyone because they're trying to make sure that it's successful. And they forget that if it appeals to everyone, it isn't going to really touch a particular group in a way that's strong enough to get them to go that extra step of sharing something and passing something on. Capturing the moment. So this, 2 years ago we had an earthquake in New York City, and we don't normally have earthquakes in New York City. And so people were emptying out of buildings onto the street and running around like the world was ending. It was a very minor earthquake, and I grew up in California, so it was a little humorous to me. And there was no damage and no injuries. And so an hour after the earthquake, Buzzfeed published a post which was horrific photos from the East Coast earthquake. This is one of the photos, a yogurt that fell over. There was also a lawn chair that fell over, a picture that was a little askew. A million views in like 12 hours because it was part of the zeitgeist. It was what people were talking about at that moment. Cute animals. People make fun of cute animals. And they say, why are there so many cute animals on the internet? Part of the reason is that cute animals are about what it means to be human. They're not just about animals. Having empathy towards animals is part of the way that we know that we have our basic humanity. If you think about serial killers, they always tortured animals when they were kids. If any of you are science fiction fans, and the movie Blade Runner, the Harrison Ford character is hunting out androids, and one way you can tell they're androids is they don't have empathy towards animals. Everything else about them is human, but they don't have empathy towards animals. So when people complain that there's too many cute animals on Buzzfeed, I always ask them, are you an android or a serial killer? Because those are the two types of people that do not have empathy for other living things. So humor is also inherently social. This printer is now called Bob Marley because it's always jamming. This is something that when you laugh with people, you connect with them and you feel closer to them. And then human rights. one of the reasons why I think gay marriage has been such a huge issue, or has made so much progress in the last few years, is because on Facebook everyone is connected with each other, and if you see someone who doesn't have the same rights as you, you're more likely to stick up for them because you're connected to them on social media. In contrast, things like nude pictures of Scarlett Johansson are very, very popular. I know that will shock you. On things like Facebook, or on things like Google. People will click on these things, people will search them, but you don't really see people posting. Now maybe this is different in Germany. People have told me that Germans are much less prudish than Americans, so perhaps this isn't true here, but you don't really see Americans, at least, posting nude pictures of Scarlett Johansson on Facebook, or writing, hey, I heard there's nude pictures of Scarlett Johansson. I have some time this weekend, if someone could send them to me, that would be great. Instead, they'll post, join me in helping the people of Japan after the tsunami, or something that expresses the positive identity that they want other people to see.